Chapter 1. The Voice in Apartment 3B. I found Apartment 3B on a forum for people who needed to disappear. The ad was brief. No ID required, cash accepted, utilities included. When I stepped inside, the air felt heavy, like the apartment had been holding its breath, waiting for someone. The wallpaper peeled in the corners, and the windows were clouded with grime. Still, something about the place called to me. A quietness I hadn't felt in years. I unpacked my bags in silence, listening to the hum of old pipes and distant city sounds. The radiator clanked every so often, like it was coughing something up. There was a cracked picture frame on the floor in the hallway with no photo inside. I assumed the last tenant had left it. I had come here to escape, not from a person, but from the shadow that had followed me since childhood. Memories I couldn't explain. Dreams that felt more like warnings. Whispers, always just out of reach. Something about this place felt familiar in the worst way. That night, as I lay in bed, I heard it. A soft whisper, almost like a sigh. And quat. Don't open it, and quat. It came from behind a closet door near the back wall, one I hadn't noticed before. I froze. My heart pounded in my ears. The whisper faded as quickly as it came, and when I forced myself to get up and check, the closet door wouldn't budge. Rust sealed the hinges. I told myself it was just the building settling. But I didn't sleep. At 3:08 a.m., I checked the time. That's when the radiator stopped making noise. The silence was unnerving. And then the whisper came again, clearer this time. And quat. You shouldn't be here, and quat. I sprang from the bed, turning on every light. The bulbs flickered violently, and for a split second, I saw a figure standing by the closet. A tall, thin silhouette, with long arms that touched the floor. When the lights steadied, it was gone. I grabbed my phone, intending to call someone, anyone, but I had no service. Not even Wi-Fi. I checked the router, which blinked steadily. Nothing worked. The building, it seemed, was isolated from the world in more ways than one. Morning came slowly, and I forced myself to take a walk outside. The sky was overcast, and the city around the building felt wrong. People walked by, but no one made eye contact. No cars moved. Even the birds seemed to avoid the rooftop. I realized something unsettling. I hadn't seen a single person enter or exit the building since I arrived. I tried to talk to someone, a woman walking her dog, but as I approached, she turned a corner and vanished. The street was empty again. My skin crawled with the feeling of being watched. When I returned, my door, apartment 3B, had a different number, 5C, but the key still worked. I hesitated before going inside. The closet door was ajar. Inside, the air was ice cold, and a new note was pinned to the inside wall. And quat. Erin Lane must remember. And quat. My name, in handwriting that looked eerily like mine. I stared at it for a long time, trying to convince myself it was a prank. Maybe the landlord came in while I was out. Maybe someone had copied my handwriting. But deep down, I knew better. I took the note and folded it, slipping it into the journal I kept hidden in my suitcase. A journal filled with dreams and nightmares from my childhood, visions of fires, closed doors, and voices calling out from behind walls. I'd never known what they meant. Until now. That night, I stayed awake with every light on, huddled in the corner furthest from the closet. My eyes never left the door. At 3:08 a.m., The radiator went silent again. And for a moment, the air in the room shimmered like heat waves, though it was freezing. The whisper came again. Only this time, it was more than one voice. And quot, you were here before. And quot, you forgot. And quot, we remember. And quot. And then silence. I knew I wouldn't leave this place the same if I left at the morning after that whisper in the closet. I knew I couldn't ignore what was happening anymore. I had to find out the truth about apartment 3B, and why it didn't seem to exist anywhere except inside my own experiences. But confronting reality in this place was proving to be more complicated than I ever imagined. I made my way to the front office of the building. The hallways were unusually silent, almost reverent, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. The manager sign on the door looked faded, the paint peeling at the edges. I rang the service bell, hoping someone would answer. The sharp ding echoed but brought no response. Curiosity pulled me inside when the door creaked open on its own, as if inviting me in, or warning me away. The office was dim and filled with dust motes floating through the shafts of weak sunlight from the grimy window. A large, leather-bound ledger sat on the desk, its edges worn with age. The kind of book someone might keep if they wanted to keep secrets locked away. I hesitated, then flipped it open. Tenant names filled the pages, with dates and apartment numbers listed next to them. I searched for mine. Erin Lane, apartment 3B. Nothing. The listing for 3B simply said, vacant. No name, no lease, no record that I had ever signed anything or even existed here. I turned back several pages, flipping through decades of records. 3B remained empty for over 20 years. That made no sense. I was living there right now. I snapped a picture of the ledger page with my phone, but the screen flickered and shut off suddenly. When it turned back on, the photo was gone. My heart beat faster. A noise from the hallway startled me. A soft shuffle. Footsteps. I spun around, but no one was there. Just a long corridor lined with closed doors. Their peeling paint a mirror of the rest of the building's decay. One of the storage doors slowly creaked open, revealing old suitcases and dusty letters stacked inside. I picked up the top letter, my name written neatly on the envelope. Erin Lane. The postmark was from 1993. I froze. That was 2 decades before I was born. I dropped the letter and stumbled back, eyes wide in disbelief. Something was terribly wrong. Glancing again at the ledger, I saw a new entry, this time under 3B. Erin Lane, date unknown. I didn't stay to ask questions. I ran back to my apartment, locking the door behind me. The walls felt like they were closing in. I tried to find the listing for the apartment online, but the website was gone. The building didn't exist on any map or satellite image. It was as if 3B was a ghost itself, a place out of time. That night, when I washed my face, the fogged mirror revealed a chilling message. You left before. Don't make the same mistake. Was I trapped in some loop? Had I been here before, forgotten? Writ. What mistake was I being warned about? My old journal, filled with sketches and cryptic notes I'd kept since childhood, suddenly felt more important than ever. On the last blank page, ink appeared, as if written by an invisible hand, she's waking up. And with that, the line between past and present, reality and nightmare, blurred irreversibly.